Okay, this topic is dealing with boiler circulation and circulation ratio. Okay, so this boiler circulation and circulation ratio is very important from our semester point of view. This question repeatedly comes. So this boiler circulation means what? It means that flow of water and steam within the boiler circuit. That means what does it mean? That means that if we need to flow that air and exhaust gas inside the boiler, that means atmospheric air coming in the boiler and exhaust gas will go out of the boiler, we need to maintain a pressure difference to maintain it, and that pressure difference is known as boiler draft or boiler draught. Now in the same fashion, if we want to maintain a flow for water and steam, then that way again we have to maintain a pressure difference between that water and the steam. Otherwise that water and steam do not flow inside the boiler circuit and the whole process will be shut down. So that's why we have to maintain a flow for water and steam in the boiler circuit. Boiler circuit means this kind of circuit. In this particular picture you can see it is a boiler drum, this big circle. Inside the boiler drum water is being stored. So from the boiler drum through this downward pipeline, which is known as downcomer, the water is coming down, and this is a junction that is known as header, or rather say downcomer header. Then through that header, that water is going to pass through this riser tube, and this riser part is kept inside the combustion chamber or inside the furnace. You can see the vertical line is a representation of furnace wall. Okay, so when the water is coming down from the drum, it is in liquid state, and when it is going to circulate or when it is going to flow through this riser tube, which is being kept inside the furnace, so the water is change its phase from liquid to vapor, and then from riser tube it is flowing upward and going back to the drum again. From drum it is going to supply to the superheater, and from economizer the water is being coming to the boiler drum. Okay, that is when from economizer water is coming to the drum, and from drum it is going to the superheater. And that capital H is the height of the from water surface of the drum to the riser tube or downcomer tube, that height. Okay, that is the height of the water column. So this picture tells us the natural circulation in a downcomer riser circuit. Okay. Now in this particular picture, rho D is the representation of density of the downcomer liquid, that is water. It will be higher, and rho M will be the density of the mixture which is being stored in the riser tube. It will be lesser. That's why I have written over here that rho D greater than rho M, and due to that density difference, that circulation will be continued further. If the density of these two elements comes equal in level, so the circulation will be stopped. Okay. So this density difference plays a major role, and when the water is being converted into steam, the density will be lesser, so it will go upward. So this kind of circulation inside this circuit is being continued. And here I have used two legend box. This small dash line is a representation of saturated water, and small dash along with the small circle is the representation of steam water mixture, which is being stored inside the riser tube. Got it? Now circulation can be done by two ways. One is natural and one is artificial. When it is natural, then the density difference takes into account, and when it is artificial, it should be done by pump. Okay. Now the important thing, that is circulation ratio. Circulation ratio is nothing but the mass of saturated water, or you can say mass flow rate of saturated water in the downcomer. Mass flow rate or mass, both are same, because it is ratio between the two same elements, so it will be unitless. So you can say mass of saturated water in downcomer or mass flow rate of saturated water in downcomer to the mass of steam or mass flow rate of steam released from the drum, whatever we have released. So we can say that if some water is coming through the downcomer, so obviously some amount of steam must be released from the drum, otherwise it cannot come down. If there is no vacuum is being created by releasing the steam, then some water cannot come down. If some amount of steam is being released from the drum, then some water can come down from the downcomer. So they are very correlated with each other. So if we represent the circulation ratio by CR, so it can be written like m by mg. M is nothing but the mass of saturated water in downcomer, and mg is the mass of steam released from the drum. Okay. Now the legend, you can come with this line now. M is a representation of mass of saturated water in the downcomer. In downcomer, mass of saturated water in downcomer. Mg is a representation of mass of steam released from the drum, and M1 is nothing but M minus Mg. That means mass of liquid water, that is saturated water, at riser. So at riser there will be some water, obviously saturated water is being there along with some steam. So if we consider the amount of saturated water, whatever it is flowing through the riser, if we consider that by M1, that is the saturated liquid contained in the riser tube, then M1 can be represented by M minus Mg, because M is the amount of whole saturated liquid at the downcomer, and some amount of water is being converted into steam, and that steam is the representation of Mg. So if we do M minus Mg, so what will be that? It is the amount of saturated liquid stored in the riser tube only, because in this riser tube there is a mixture of saturated liquid along with some steam. Okay, so we can say that the mass of saturated liquid inside this riser tube only, that is represented by M1, and M1 is nothing but M minus Mg. Okay, so if you replace that M equals to Mg plus M1, just shuffling this side, Mg plus M1 divided by Mg. So it will, if we shuffle that relation, so it will come like 1 by Mg by M1 plus Mg, and this whole term is known as dryness fraction, because dryness fraction we know that is the mass of dry steam to the mass of mixture, and Mg is the mass of dry steam, and M1 plus Mg, that is nothing but mass of mixture, because M1 is the saturated liquid and Mg is the stream, so it is a mixture mass actually. That's why we can say that the denominator part is basically a dryness fraction. And why I have written top dryness fraction, TDF? Because that dryness fraction present at the top part of the riser tube, because at the bottom of the riser tube most of the part will be liquid, very small amount of steam will be formed. But when it is flowing from downward to slowly upward, then you can see the conversion rate will be higher. So at the top of the riser tube, the dryness fraction will be more, because at highest location of the riser tube, most of the water will be converted into steam. So that way, this dryness fraction is being measured at the top of the riser tube. That's why it is known as top dryness fraction. And you all know that dryness fraction is always should be less than 1. From 0 to 1 it lies. So if 1 by less than 1 value, then it will be circulation ratio always will be greater than 1. If the denominator is less than 1, then the result always will be greater than 1. That way we can say the circulation ratio always will be greater than 1. And the value of circulation ratio lies between 6 to 25. So from 6 up to 25, that value of circulation ratio actually lies. Okay. So this is whole about the circulation ratio, and dealing with the same circulation ratio, two more things is important in this particular regard. That one thing is Void fraction, and the other thing is slip ratio. These two things also comes with short note, so I should go with this two short things. One is slip ratio and one is void fraction. So along with those two part, I am going to complete that circulation part. So we can say that void fraction is nothing but, it is represented randomly by alpha. It is nothing but volume of vapor divided by volume of liquid plus volume of vapor. that kind of expression actually given for the void fraction relation. So void fraction is nothing but this kind of relation, and it always be represented by alpha. So this volume of vapor and volume of liquid. So in this particular riser tube, we can see both the things, volume of vapor and volume of liquid, because at the bottom of the riser tube most of the part will be liquid, and at the top of the riser tube most of the part will be vapor. So you can see both the things in the riser tube. If you write down that row bottom means row bottom of the riser tube. Row bottom of the riser tube, I can write that, that is nothing but rho d. Rho d means density of the liquid at the downcomer part, and when it is just entering at the riser tube, at the bottom of this particular riser tube, the phase change still not started. So you can say that bottom of the riser tube, it is for riser tube. So at the bottom of the riser tube, the density of the fluid is basically the density of the downcomer of the liquid. They are actually same. But at the row, at the top part, top means top of the riser tube, and that is nothing but 1 by V top. V means specific volume, small v. Small v always stands for specific volume. तो स्पेसिफिक वॉल्यूम का अगर रेसिप्रोकल करते हैं तो मिल जाता है डेंसिटी, बिकॉज स्पेसिफिक वॉल्यूम का यूनिट होता है मीटर क्यूब पर केजी. तो इसका अगर रेसिप्रोकल करते हैं तो केजी पर मीटर क्यूब, दैट इज द डेंसिटी. एंड व्हेन आई एम राइटिंग लाइक व्हाई आई एम राइटिंग दिस वे, बिकॉज at the top of the riser tube, that is not a density of water, because there is a mixture zone. That's why I can write that rho top is nothing but 1 by V top, and that V top also can be written like this way: VF plus X TDF into VFG. That same steam table things you can remember. V top, that means the dryness fraction at that particular riser tube location. There is a mixture zone. So mixture means there must be some liquid and there must be some liquid vapor mixture. So the specific volume of the liquid and the specific volume of the mixture, and if you multiply with the dryness fraction, there you are getting the specific volume at this top part of the riser tube. And all these values, this specific volume, VF and VFG, you can get from steam table. Isn't it? If you know the pressure, if you know the pressure of that particular riser tube, then place that pressure value at the steam table, saturated steam table, and get the value of small VF and VFG. If the dryness fraction is known to you, then you can find it from there. Okay. Or if the V top and VF plus VFG is known to you, then you can find the X value from there. Got it? So that way you can find the density of at the bottom part and the density at the top part of the riser tube. And second thing I should clear over here, that is the slip ratio. That is slip ratio. It is represented randomly by S. That is nothing but Vg or V bar G by V bar F. The bar of V means its velocity, velocity of vapor to the velocity of liquid. Okay, that is the slip ratio. So that velocity it can be find out. I am not going to that extent because I know that it can be a very hectic for you people to take all this, like this a video lecture, right? Can realize that, but I also don't have any option without it. So that slip ratio is nothing but the velocity of vapor. Velocity of vapor means the velocity whatever it is flowing through the riser tube, and the velocity of liquid, that means the liquid is coming from the downcomer. So that way in between these two velocity ratio it can be represented by slip ratio. Okay. So up to this we can complete the boiler circulation and circulation ratio. Dealing with the same topic, you can do a small numerical dealing with the same topic, and try to do solving small numerical dealing with this and if you have any problem then tell me. Okay, next proceed.